Oh man, let me fix my knee. Let me make sure everything is live. I have to see it. And I think we're good. Where's the Rockfin? But there it is. Rockfin, we're definitely awake. YouTube, are we awake? YouTube, not looking good yet. There we are. There we are. How about that? You know what I thought was what if like in the future I'm just looking at my phone, like the show opens and I'm just looking at my phone and then I'm like, "Oh, you're here." I was uh I was just getting my news on. I was just reading the news on my phone. Just reading the news on my phone like you do. You want to get your news on with me? Do you want to talk about what I'm talking about? Well, perhaps we could do that. Perhaps we could get our news on together. We could call it Get Your News On with Ron. The Rapture. That's amazing. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday morning. I hope you are amazing. I hope you have had a wonderful weekend. Sorry I'm a little late. There was an issue with my camera this morning. But yeah, I'm a little late. Usually the patron stream starts at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern. We're a little late today. Apologies, and I know some of you will catch this on the replay. This is the patron stream. This stream goes out to everybody, but the replay is only available on Rockfin Premium or Patreon, which if you're thinking, I want to become a patron, patreon.com/Ron Placone. What do you get for that, Ron? Well, you get the replay of this stream and all other patron streams. I do one every week, once a week, usually on Sundays, sometimes a different day if, the schedule makes it so that that's the way it is. And you get a patron Zoom show every week. I do a Zoom show just for my patrons and Rockfin Premium members. And here's the fun perk everyone's been loving. I will make you a theme song. If you ever wanted a theme song, do you like to get your news on with Ron theme song? Well, I will make you a theme song. I will make you a theme song for your own podcast. If you have a podcast and you're thinking I need a theme song, or if you just like to party, or if you maybe you want a theme song for your significant other, maybe you want a theme song for your job, maybe you want a theme song for books that you write. I've written theme songs for all the above. Everything I just described, I've written theme songs for all those things. And I'll make a theme song for you. And that's all for Give What You Can level. My Patreon does not have tiers, Tier. No tiers. It's just a Give What You Can level. So if you are on stable ground, have a little bit to spare that you won't miss, please do consider it. Patreon.com/Ron Placone. Even $1 a month goes a long way, folks. And to all the patrons, thank you so much. You make the show possible. And let me get into what you all are saying. Well, first of all, a quick Lucy update. She's doing better. Now, she wants to play and be active. For those of you who may not recall, I'll real briefly. Lucy injured herself. My cat Lucy injured herself last week, and I was very panicked. I talked about it a lot all week on the show, and I took her to the vet. And going to the vet during the pandemic is very stressful because you don't get to go in there. You can't go into the vet office. You have to wait in the car, like you're waiting for a drug dealer or something, and your pet is just in there. And so it's a stress. I mean, going to the vet is always stressful because Lucy hates it. And but they took a look at her, and they got some medication for her, and she has had her medication. She finished. It was just a couple tablets that I mixed into her food, and she ate. I was actually surprised. I expected her to not. I expected her to protest, but I mixed it in with her food. She just kind of ate it, and so she's done with her medication. She is doing better, but I know that she should not overexert herself. She jumped from the floor onto the cutting board. This cutting board in my kitchen that I have started using as a makeshift stage. Some of you guys, you see it. I mean, I have a background going on, but I use it as my stage for Zoom shows. It's just like this wooden cutting board type type stand, like it has wheels and stuff. Anyway, Lucy loves jumping on that thing because because I'm there a lot, and she'll jump on it during it. So you guys have seen her do it during a Zoom show. She did it, and she happened to land on a pen, and she re-injured her injury. Like I saw her like kind of favor that paw that she had hurt prior, and she meowed. So I realized she had pushed herself too hard, and it really stressed me out big time. So I think I've aged 5 years this week. She's asleep on the couch now. So anyway, my point is now she's feeling better now, and she wants to play and all that stuff. But I can't play with her because she has to take it easy. She has to take it easy for a little bit. If she doesn't take it easy, anyway. Edwin, you're saying the chat is off on YouTube. It is not. The chat is here on YouTube. Maybe it took a little bit to kick in. But as of right now, unless something changed recently, the chat is on. I'll say something. Yeah, I just said something. Yeah, I think the chat is happening, unless it just kicked off all of a sudden. But somebody say something in the YouTube chat so that I know it's real, so that I've seen it and I know it is good. But yeah, sometimes it takes a minute. The other thing that, yeah, there we go. Someone just said something. The other thing that's fun about the YouTube chat is every time I do a live stream, I have to turn it back on. Yeah, I have to turn it back on every time I do a live stream, which is frustrating. I don't know why it is that way, but it is. So sometimes if you get there right away on the YouTube, the chat is not happening yet because I have to. Oh, Edwin, you're here. Right on. All right. Rockfin, YouTube, we're rocking out. Let's see here. So let me go to what the patrons are saying. I gave you the Lucy update. And by the way, thanks for all the tweets, all the well wishes, all the emails, all the love. I appreciate it very much. And she's doing better. And yeah. So you could tell it bugged all week. It was kind of on my mind. It's hard. And she has her comic, lucyandron.com. Check it out if you haven't already. We're hoping to get that back up soon. But in the meantime, we have an archive of over 80 comics. Check them out. And Lucy and Ron is going to be back soon. You know that we're trying to make an animated series. Let me get to what the patrons are saying. We're like, Ron, we get it. You love your cat. She had an injury. She's doing better. And I can't play. I won't play with her yet because she can't overexert herself. But I'm thinking this week, as long as she's still herself, then we'll be able to play again. She wants to play. She'll like meow to play. And I'll be like, yeah, let's just cuddle instead. Let's just, how about we just sit here and I pet you? Which she's like, okay, that's cool. But then she'll go, well, wait a second, I want to play now. And I'm like, yeah, we can't. I'll pet you though. And she's like, yeah, dude, I get it. I've had my quota of affection. I want to play. And I'm like, well, that's what we can't. If you overexert yourself and re-injure yourself, that's not going to be good. That could lead to something more serious. And she's like, I don't know English. And I don't understand the concept of patience or healing. I just want to play, and you're not playing with me. So now I'm going to be a little passive-aggressive because you're upsetting me, and you're hurting my feelings a little bit. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I wish you could understand. I want to play with you, but I can't. And this is really, my wife is equally worried about both of us. Really, it's not fair to my wife because she can't just worry about the cat. She has to worry about me too. Well, the cat got injured and I'm worried about that. But my husband, he freaks the fuck out over this stuff. And I'm left to take care of both of them. Anyway, all right. So that's the update. Oh, by the way, I do have one other quick special announcement here. So on May 22nd, a first of its kind experience is happening. KRTD Media Group is excited to announce the inaugural U.S. Solutions Summit, which will be streamed live on the KRTD Media YouTube. So check out KRTD Media on YouTube and social media channels. It's also in conjunction with Indie Left. Check them out at independentleft.media. The event is scheduled for 5 hours, beginning at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And it's an opportunity for great minds to come together to address challenges facing our society. The summit will feature a megathon of 6 panels, each panel focused on specific topics, discussing real-world, common sense solutions. The areas include education, cultural affairs, electoral politics, economics, and press freedom. Each panel will feature a roundtable of prominent and well-respected political influencers, experts, and journalists. Here's some of the featured panelists: Mark Charles, Shahid Buttar, Justin Jackson, Graham Elwood, Ron Placone. They can't all be winners, folks. What's Ron Placone doing there? What is Ron Placone doing there? They can't all be winners. What are you going to do? Fiorella Isabel and Craig Pasta-Jardula, Kit Cabello and Daniel Lupker of Hard Lens Media, Bruno Franco, Steph Zamorano, Madeline Hoffman, and Dan Whitfield. So there you go. KRTD Media Group. Find them over on the YouTube. And that event happens on May 22nd at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. I'll be talking more about it as time goes on. All right, now what the patrons are saying. Zevko, what's up? Good to see you, Zevko. Thanks so much for being here. Unfortunately, I can't link to your article right now because it's Washington Post and I don't have a subscription. I got to clear my browser out. But I looked right before the stream happened. So I'm sorry about that, but I'll go through your comment here. Hey, Ron, as always, thank you for amplifying stories that no one else talks about. Thank you, Zevko. Thank you so much for your patronage and supporting the show. It means the world. I think you might be interested in what's happening at the University of Richmond in Richmond, Virginia. You know, Richmond is such an underrated town. And hopefully we're going to be hitting Richmond on our tour. We're figuring all that out. We're working on it. Hopefully I will have some announcements very soon in that regard. But right now, still working on it. But Richmond is like, I always describe Richmond, at least like right now. I don't know if it's always been this way, but Richmond is like if Pittsburgh and Asheville, North Carolina had a baby and it retained a lot of the cool parts of each, you know, that's what Richmond makes me think of. I have a friend who lives in Richmond, and I made some new friends in Richmond. And Richmond is a cool town, very underrated town, Richmond, Virginia. So shout out to Richmond. But here's what's going on here. You bring this up. You are an alumni of University of Richmond. Right on. Would you study? And you are disgusted with how the administration has handled this situation, but you're thankful for the courageous students and professors taking a stand. So the University of Richmond's Board of Trustees said Monday it has decided to suspend its recent controversial decision to retain two campus building names of historical figures with ties to slavery and segregation. The board's action, signaling a shift from what seemed to be a dug-in position on the matter, followed a week-long uproar at the private 3,900 student liberal arts university in February and then again in March. University leaders had proclaimed that they would continue to keep the surnames of Reverend Robert Ryland and Douglas Southall Freeman on two prominent buildings. Ryland was a 19th century founding president of the school, simultaneously enslaved people of African descent, and received payments for their labor. Freeman, a prominent Richmond trustee in the early 20th century, supported racial segregation and eugenics. Great, guys. Wow, there you go. And you go on to say, here's an earlier WAPO article about Mr. Quilley, the university's rector, who insulted the students and blamed cancel culture for their actions. On March 26, Quilley came to campus to meet with faculty, staff, and student representatives who want to remove the names. Many in the campus community have said it is wrong to honor figures from the school's past strongly associated with white supremacy. Afterwards, 7 faculty leaders who were there wrote an account of the meeting that sharply criticized Quilley. They wrote that the rector said he considered the issue of the building names to be a closed matter, and he wanted to help Black, brown, and regular students. So basically he implied, that is an ugly statement from him. Yeah, that does not sound good. They also wrote that Quilley characterized the effort as cancel culture. Oh, jeez. Okay. At another point, they wrote Quilley interrupted a Black woman staff member in the middle of her initial comments and noted that she sounded angry. He then proceeded to direct a series of comments and question at the staff member over how much of the remaining hour in a largely adversarial manner. Yeah, so this guy does not seem like a good dude. Yeah, Quilley. Does it say, Mr. Quilley, he does not seem like a good guy. And he does not see like a good guy. Not seem like a good guy. Anyway, change the names. I mean, honestly, I've always just had, to me, it's not about, quote, cancel culture. It's about evolving. as a species. And it's about realizing, you know what? There's a lot of ugliness that has happened in this country, and we can acknowledge our history. There's no reason why these two men shouldn't be considered part of the history of the university. There's no reason why they can't be part of a museum. There's no reason why we shouldn't wear the wounds of our history. That's actually a healthy thing as far as growth is concerned. But you don't need to celebrate it by having a building named after them. You can rename that building and say, we've evolved and we realize this is wrong. That we shouldn't have these buildings named after these people, regardless of their contributions to the university. So, all these people like, oh, it's history. It's history. Okay, so put it in a freaking museum. Put it in a freaking put the Confederate flag in a museum. It doesn't belong at a state house. Because guess what? The war happened. The Confederacy lost. First of all. So yeah, your Confederate flag, which was resurrected to be used as a hate symbol, doesn't belong at a courthouse. Doesn't belong at a state building. It can be in a museum. Sure. It's part of our nation's history. Sure. Same with these people. Yeah, they can be in the history books. Sure, they're part of our history. They can be listed in a museum. They can be listed in the history of the university. Totally. You don't need to pretend like they weren't part of things. But you don't need to have the building named after them. That's all there is to it. So I hear you, and I can see why that would frustrate you as an alumnus. As an alumnus, I feel you. So there you go. Thank you for sharing that very much. And let's see, what else are y'all saying? Pazumors, what's up, Pazumors? How are y'all? I hope all is well in Michigan. And it looks like things are not all well in Michigan. You share this with me and you say, by the way, Michigan is #1 in COVID cases right now. I heard about that. All of our hospitals in Michigan are near or at capacity with COVID and non-COVID patients, which has been a state of emergency for the past month. That is such a bummer. That really sucks. And I know that I think y'all work in healthcare, don't you? So stay safe, please. Stay very, very safe and be careful. And I'm hoping for the best, obviously. But let me go to what you sent me here. Just kidding is the headline. Michigan Unemployment Agency reconsiders who's eligible, demands money back. Okay, what's going on here? Christine Hollifield is a part-time worker who can't work full-time due to a health condition. In spite of her disability, Hollifield is a self-employed independent contractor and business owner doing work in auction houses. The CARES Act came to the rescue, and it gave her federal unemployment money. Michigan approved her federal benefits a year ago. She went back to work in late summer, but in October, she got a $10,000 bill in the mail. The Michigan Unemployment Insurance Agency changed its mind. Oh, no. Deciding that people who aren't available for full-time work don't get benefits. Many others have gotten the same news. So they changed it so that someone like her qualified, and then they changed their minds again. Some people are getting bills as high as $30,000 from the Unemployment Insurance Association. Oh, my God. Now, the CARES Act does not prohibit part-time workers from getting federal benefits. The decision comes from Michigan, so the state. Experts estimate thousands of Michiganders have been ordered to pay back their benefits through these monetary redeterminations. That is unreal. And the UIA threatens to garnish wages and seize tax refunds if the benefits aren't repaid. Wow. Now, they're saying here that Michigan is an outlier in its approach. To start, it's one of just 2 states that doesn't normally pay regular benefits to part-time workers. The unemployment agency is purposely excluding money from coming into Michigan that's going into these other states. That is, I mean, just think about this for a second. First of all, we were one of the only developed nations that did not give our people just a straight up emergency UBI. We're one of the only ones that didn't do that. And we had these, well, if you lost your job, you can maybe get something, but you got to go through these hoops to get it, depending on what you do, and blah, blah, blah. And each state was different. Some states were easier than others. So not only did we do that, but now in some states, they actually want the money back. They're making you pay it back when you lost your job because of a pandemic. And again, this is not the government doing charity, folks. That's not what this is. This is just the government upholding their end of an agreement. We participate in our government. We pay taxes. One of the reasons we're told that we do that is so that if something like a pandemic happens, the government figures it out. The government redistributes resources so that everyone gets through it. That's one of the things the federal government is for. So this is not just the federal government not being willing to do something for the people. This is the government stealing from the people. They are stealing. This is theft. Wow. That's unbelievable that that's actually happening. It's unbelievable that can happen. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that, Patsy Moores, and I hope I hope that this stops. I hope that they wow. I don't see how they can get away with this. I mean, nobody should have to pay a dime back. That's insane. That is absolutely mind-blowing. Oh wow, here's another part of the article. Check it out. The people they're targeting the most: disabled workers, student workers, and other part-time employees are among the biggest losers, but they're not the only targets. Others who didn't work because of COVID-19 in 2020 are also getting letters demanding repayment. I mean, this is just brutality. This is the United States is a brutal society. We are a heartless, brutal society. Wow. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. Like, I mean, we were all scared something like this would happen, but holy shit, here it is happening in real time. Yikes. All right. Nina, what's up? Good to see you, Nina. Nina, you say reposting Martha's suggestion for the April 25th patron streams as it was likely overlooked in the post stream comments for the April 15th. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry, Martha. I don't know how I missed this, but I guess I missed something, and I apologize for that. Oh, this is about Prop B. I've been hearing a lot about this, but I don't know everything about it. But let's take a look. And Martha, I apologize for this. And Nina, thank you for bringing this to my attention. But let's check this out. What is Proposition B on Austin's May ballot? Proposition B gives voters the opportunity to choose whether the city of Austin should reinstate its camping ban. In other words, do you want to brutalize the homeless? The May 1st election in Austin is right around the corner. Okay, so this is older. So it happened yesterday. Early voting for the election runs on Monday, April 19th through April 27th. One of the major items on the May ballot is Proposition B. It aims to reinstate the city of Austin's homeless camping ban, which was reversed in July 2019. Both support for and opposition to the proposition has been strong in months leading up to the election. So what is Proposition B? It aims to reinstate the city's camping ban. The ban would make it illegal to camp in certain places, to sit or lie on public sidewalks or outdoor in certain areas, and to panhandle. So basically, they're brutalizing homeless people. What is the point of this? They want to brutalize homeless people. So I guess, I mean, here, let's see if it. I've been seeing stuff about this on Twitter, but I haven't really read into it. It passed. It passed. Looks like it passed. So here's an update. And again, Martha, sorry I missed this when it was more timely. I apologize. Check this out. Am I still showing the thing? Yeah, I am. Okay. Austin's public camping ban to be reinstated after voters approve Proposition B. So it passed. So Austinites passed a measure Saturday that would largely affect the city's homeless population. Proposition B is a reinstatement of Austin's public camping ban. It penalizes those who camp near downtown and the University of Texas, It also affects camping in a public area not designated by the Austin Parks and Recreation Department. 59% of voters were in support of the measure, with 79% of the votes in. All right. In addition to the camping ban, the proposition would make it a crime to ask for money in certain areas and times, or for solicitation in a public area that is deemed aggressive in manner. The ballot language was amended back on March 2nd after the Texas Supreme Court ruled in a 6-3 decision to delete a repeated word. Wow. So it passed. Well, I'm sad to hear that. I'm very sad to hear that. Usually you kind of hope that Austin is kind of better for that sort of thing. I mean, I know the city of Austin is the blue dot in Texas, considered to be a very progressive spot, especially compared to the rest of Texas. I mean, they have their own localized Green New Deal, to my knowledge. It's a wonderful city. I love Austin. But this looks like a pretty big misstep, and I'm sorry to hear it. Nina, thank you for bringing this to my attention. Sorry I missed it when it was timely. And yeah, I'm sorry to hear that it passed. All right, let me see what else. Zubas, what's up, buddy? Okay. So you bring up how Caitlyn Jenner is running for governor. Yeah, she is. And you say, I am all in, Jenner for governor. I am not. I disagree strongly. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, but why would you wish a Trumpian Republican as governor of anywhere, any state? Why would you want that? And you say, all right, so you're saying you hope Newsom loses. So I don't. And we talked about this on the show on Tuesday, and just the recall election in general. And I'm not a big fan of the procedure, because basically what happens is, and this is my first time going through this, but you look at what happened when it happened with Schwarzenegger. They have a vote to say, do you want to do a recall? They got enough signatures to make the recall happen. And then after that, just anyone can throw their hat in the ring, and it's just basically a free-for-all election. And what that means is that somebody can basically just buy the governorship. And that's what happened. That's what happened with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So the whole recall thing, the way I see it, it makes a circus out of a circus. It somehow manages to make our electoral process even worse, which is hard to do. It's already so freaking terrible, and this makes it even worse. So I'm not a big fan of it. I'm also not a fan of Gavin Newsom, but I'd rather he just lose the regular way. I'd rather, that there be a good candidate to go up against him, a candidate to his left. Caitlyn Jenner is not to his left. And that candidate beats him. That's what I'd rather see happen. And some people have said that this is like, somebody said that I'm using the same logic as the squad used when they voted for Nancy Pelosi. I'm not, because one is a procedural thing, a common procedural item. The other is not a common procedural item. Voting for the speakership is politics as usual. A recall election is not politics as usual. So I'm not using the same logic as they're using. The logic I'm using actually is the same logic I used when I wasn't really for Trump's impeachment. That's the same logic. I wasn't for Trump's impeachment, not because I don't despise Donald Trump. I do. But because I knew that the impeachment thing, for the most part, was just political theater. Because it was. There's not even for the most part. It was just political theater. It was just nonsense. And early on, as much as you don't like Donald Trump, what's worse than Donald Trump? Mike Pence. So I thought I'd rather see Trump lose at the ballot box to Bernie Sanders. That was what I preferred by a lot. So it's the same logic here. Am I a fan of Gavin Newsom? No. But do I really want to see this dog and pony show, this recall thing, and then potentially the governorship is just up for sale to the highest bidder? No, I don't want to see that either. Nor do I want to see Caitlyn Jenner, a Trump Republican, become governor. But the one silver lining I do see is this is kind of lighting a fire under Gavin Newsom a little bit. He has taken some steps to get rid of fracking in the state of California. I'll believe it when I see it, but my fingers are crossed. And hey, I have a feeling he took those steps because he's feeling a little bit of pressure. He's feeling a little bit of heat in the kitchen right now. He might get recalled. So if this entire thing can be used to really light a fire under him to make some concessions, that's a good thing. Hey, maybe this will lead to getting single payer done in California. Maybe that's, I mean, probably not but you never know. So that's what I compare it to. I compare it to, it's kind of more like Trump's impeachment. It's like, yeah, I don't, I'd rather just beat him at the ballot box. Same thing here. I'd rather just beat him at the ballot box. I don't like Gavin Newsom. And, by the way, when we did that story earlier in the week, someone said that only a right-winger would disapprove of Gavin Newsom. They're like, only right-wingers disapprove of Gavin Newsom. Like, oh, yeah, because, right-wingers hate fracking permits. That's always, it's always right-wingers who hate fracking permits. They're always the ones. There's a lot of people on the left who aren't fans of Gavin Newsom. I'm one of them. I don't like Gavin Newsom. I didn't support him in the election. I supported Delaney Easton. She was the progressive option. She unfortunately did not win. But yeah, I'd rather just beat him the regular way. And I know it's hard because our system is already a circus. But stuff like, political theater, impeachment shams, and, goofy recall elections, they're literally making a circus out of a circus. You're squaring the circus. It's circus squared. So there's that. So yeah, that's my thought on that. We'll see what happens. I certainly don't have a tear to shed for anyone involved. To Caitlyn Jenner or Gavin Newsom. Great. I'd rather just keep the familiar enemy. Why replace a familiar enemy with an unfamiliar one? Why not just keep Gavin Newsom and try to beat him for real in an election, then get a Trumpian Republican in Caitlyn Jenner? To me, that makes no sense. But, do what you're going to do. We'll see what happens. So let's see. What else here? Let's see. Passymore, you say this, although a story of hope and caring, still these stopgap measures could be more effectively addressed with the UBI or at least free college with a start for a start. I hear you. Let's see. When COVID dealt struggling medical students another blow, the Shield Fund provided a lifeline. Okay, so Rachel Reggio knows what it is to struggle as a medical student. Academic challenges hit the University of Michigan Medical School student hard, and she took an absence from school in early 2020. Without qualifying credit hours, she lost access to financial aid. Jeez. Since she'd been consumed with medical school, she didn't have another source of income. And because she was older than 26, she couldn't be on her parents' health insurance. Reggio found a lifeline in a mentor, Michael Inglesby, a transplant surgeon who is heavily involved in medical student education, offered her a research position, which helped her stay afloat. So it's one of those things where our system is so screwed that people are in bogus situations like these, and then they try to make it like they make it like it's a feel-good story. It's like one of those stories where, a 5-year-old starts a lemonade stand to pay for their parents' cancer treatment, or in worst cases, their own treatment. Yeah, you're supposed to feel good about that. Or mom takes out a third job to pay for her kids' surgery. And then they're like, oh, isn't this great? Like no, what's fucked is that the system puts people in this situation. What's fucked is that in the richest country in the world, anyone's in this situation where if they have to leave medical school, they don't have health insurance anymore, or they can't get financial aid. If we had free college, if we had, universal health care, we wouldn't be in this situation. We wouldn't be in this situation. So there you go. And I guess she'll be able to go to medical school again soon. I wish I went to medical school. I really do. I didn't though. But oh well. Actually, I don't. I wouldn't have made it. Yeah, I would have failed in like the first. I would have lasted one semester. How do you be a doctor? That blows my mind that somebody's a doctor. You know what I mean? Like that's one of those jobs. I remember one time there was this guy at a show, and afterwards he's like, "I don't know how you do what you do. It's so brave." And I'm like, "What do you do?" And he's like, "I'm a doctor." And I'm like, "You fucking." You realize that when I have a bad day, people don't laugh. That's it. When I fail at my job, people don't laugh. That's what happened. When you fail at your job, people fucking die. When I fail at my job, the only thing that dies are like jokes and a little bit of me inside. Other people die when you fail at yours. That's freaking. How is anyone a doctor? It blows my mind. Like how do you do that? Like you just someone's life is in your hands. They're ill and it's up to you to fix that. How do you freaking that's amazing. I have a lot of respect for doctors. I really do. I know not all doctors are some doctors are better than others, obviously, like anything else in the world, but holy shit, how do you do it? How do you freaking do it? So yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's a story of hope and caring, but although if we just had better things in this country, if we had all those other things that other countries just have, it's just something they have. You know, tuition-free college, they have that. Universal healthcare, they have it. We don't have any of those things. So they're out of medical school, they don't have healthcare anymore, and they can't get any financial aid. It's so ridiculous. All right, Joseph, what's up, buddy? Just a weird story involving Edward Snowden from this week. To be honest, I'm kind of surprised that he was speaking at a Get Rich Quick conference. Okay. All right. Well, let's see what Edward Snowden was up to. Yeah, how is anyone a freaking doctor? God damn. How do you do that? How are you a surgeon? It's nuts. All right. The bizarre case of Edward Snowden. Let's see. And a Get Rich Quick real estate investing conference. The Private Investment Club conference had everything. A host demanding people pay for VIP access. Weird pyramid diagrams. Plurking. What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is. And a celebrity guest who clearly didn't read the memo. Okay, so Edward Snowden was there. Edward Snowden joined an elite real estate investment club Saturday afternoon, spoke for several minutes about whistleblowing, called out one of the hosts for allegedly running a Ponzi scheme, then logged out in one of the most bizarre online conferences in recent memory. Part of the conference was hosted by a man named Sunil, the wealthy cop, who has been twice quasi-criminally charged in 2015 with violating a lifetime ban on trading securities. Okay, so why was Edward Snowden at this thing? Before Snowden joined, Tulsiani was trying to sell $47 tickets to a VIP session of the conference. While pitching the VIP session, Tulsiani repeatedly said, "If there was a gun to your head saying you have to find the money, you'll find it." Okay. Included as a response to an audience member who said in the group chat that she couldn't afford. Yeah, this sounds kind of culty. You have to just manifest the money and then give it to us. Just believe that you can pay it back. Believe in the money and it'll come to you. You have to work for it. You have to feel it. You have to hurt. You have to hurt for our cause. You have to give us money and then you will receive the benefits. That's interesting. And Edward Snowden was there. All right. And Edward Snowden called it out. Well, Edward Snowden, politically, he was, and I don't know, maybe he still is, but he was kind of like libertarian politically, right? I mean, well, no, I read his book. I don't know if he's still that way or not. Like later in the book, he didn't really talk about his personal politics as much, but he mentioned he was, he grew up in a like a government minded family. Um, and he, they all kind of worked in various capacities of government. I don't remember all the details. I read his book a little while ago, and he was kind of a right leaning, Republican esque, libertarian esque guy. So I guess it's not totally out of bounds that he could be at a real estate event, but he dunked on these people. Snowden dunks on this. So he called them out for a Ponzi scheme, and then he bounced. I'd imagine Edward Snowden is completely, well, and other people have said this. It's not just me imagining it. I'd imagine Edward Snowden is completely out of fucks to give. I don't think he cares about anyone's approval. I think he just says whatever he wants, and he doesn't give a shit. That's what I think, but I could be wrong. So there you go. Let's see. Did I get to everything? Oh wait, there's one more thing that I wanted to mention here, and this is from. Hold on, it's loading and it's loading slow. What the hell, internet, Michelle? So Michelle, you sent me a thing on C10, which is a bill up in Canada, and I gotta do a deeper dive into it before I can really talk about it. And the reason for that is, it's a digital rights issue in Canada, and it has to pertain to online speech in Canada. And, they're looking to have this board, and they're looking to have these cable companies pay some money back, which, on the surface, I don't, that doesn't sound like a bad idea to make these cable companies pay money. Because they're, it's criminal what they get away with doing. But again, I would need to really take a deep dive into the details of it. And the other thing too is when you look at a digital rights like proposed policy when it comes to internet speech and digital rights, you have to operate from the nucleus of that country's free speech laws to begin with. Like whenever I look at a digital rights issue in the United States, I'm basing it off of what are our free speech laws as is, and how are they going to be implemented and honored here. And Canada has different free speech laws than the United States, just like England has different free speech laws than the United States. So I would kind of need to take a much deeper dive before I could say anything definitive of it one way or another. So what are my thoughts on C10? Don't know yet. Just upon glancing at it, there's some things about it where I'm like, well, if done right, that could be okay. There's other things where I'm like, ooh, that's concerning. But I would need to really understand the nuance of the policy and how it interacts with your existing free speech laws before I could say something definitive. Otherwise, I might say something that is just not really, that's just not sound. I mean, we can look at Section 230 here in the United States as an example. When you look at just the idea, okay, social media companies are doing whatever they want, and they're trying to behave. They're saying that they're publishers and they want to be treated like publishers, but they're making editorial decisions. So whatever protects them shouldn't protect them anymore. Well, that's Section 230. Oh, okay, well, then I guess we should get rid of Section 230. When you just look at it from that ground analysis, that all makes sense. But when you take a deeper dive and you apply it to the free speech laws of the United States and you actually read Section 230, which I've done, it's not that long, folks, you realize that Section 230 applies to all users on the internet and all speech on the internet. It doesn't just apply to social media companies. So repealing it is a very bad idea that would have a lot of unintended consequences. It's not as simple as, oh, social media companies benefit from this, so let's get rid of it. No, everyone benefits from it. So you're going to have a lot of unintended consequences, many of which we've gone through on this show. The reason a bunch of channels have been demonetized on YouTube, and the reason people are getting exiled from different things when money is involved, is because they were messing with Section 230. It's because of an act called the Safe Tech Act that was proposed by Democrats that basically there's no liability if there's no money involved. That's what they're claiming. So what are these big tech companies doing? Well, anything that might pose a problem, they're ending that money involved part. That's what's happening. So no, repealing Section 230 is not a good idea. It is a very bad idea that has already and will continue to have a lot of unintended consequences. So anyway, bringing it back to C10, because I don't know all the details around free speech laws in Canada as they already exist, because I know they're different. And it doesn't mean that one place is more for free speech or less for free speech. I don't think that England's laws are wrong or Canada's laws are wrong, or, it's just, they're just different. So you kind of need to know the ins and outs of them. So, but I think I'm going to try to cover it. Maybe what I'll do is I'll have like a kind of digital rights person from Canada on to really go through it with me. I think I'll do that. That'd be pretty fun. I don't know of any digital rights folks in Canada. So if you do, send them my way. Recommend them for guests on the show. And that's what we'll do. That's how we'll do it. So let's see here. Let me see what else y'all are saying. Let's see. Radical Eclectic, what's up? You have a retracted message. I'm sorry about that retracted message, but you have another message, and the other message is, Ron, do you know about author and digital rights activist Cory Doctorow? I do not. Is he in Canada? Is he a Canada guy? Could he talk about C10 with me? That wins all around. Or even if he's not, that's, I always like to talk to digital rights experts and learn from them. But I am not familiar with this person. I know nothing about them, but I will look into them. Can you try to get him on your show? I'll look into it. Don't know anything about him. Don't know his books. Don't know anything about him. And, the reason I always give that disclaimer is because I have to. When someone recommends someone to me and it's someone I never heard of, I always have to, hey, I don't know who that is. And you know why I started doing that? I'll actually say it here because, I mean, obviously this is, this is not as big of a show as the Jimmy Dore show or anything close to it. But so I don't really have to worry about this much here. I mean, I guess you have to worry about it anywhere. But what would happen on the Jimmy Dore show, and it didn't happen often, but it did happen, is people would recommend, like they would super chat and they would recommend really terrible people on purpose, hoping that in real time, like you didn't know who it was. And that you would like say like, oh, okay, well, we'll look into that. Thank you so much. And then they would capture that and try to use it to like smear everybody on the Jimmy Dore show, to smear Jimmy and to smear me. And they're like, oh, look, they're considering so-and-so. It is like, well, we didn't know who so-and-so was. We were just thanking someone for a super chat. So yeah, once I became aware that that was the thing that people do because they're, they have very interesting lives. I've always, whenever I don't know I always say, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I will have to look into it. I do not know who that is. I don't know who that is. I always say it, and I say it militantly. When I don't, if I know who someone is, that's different. But when I don't know who someone is, I will say that. So it's like, yeah, I do not know who that is. Do not know who that is. Do not know anything about them. I'm just hearing their name. You could have said any name to me. Get the idea. Yeah. And oh, Radical, you're saying that he is from Canada. Well, Maybe he could help me unpack C10 a little bit better. Maybe he could help me with that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Kathy says recall is a powerful option for the public. Just get the money and other influencing variables out of the equation. Oh, I agree. Yeah, it could be a great thing. It could totally be a great thing. But again, that's a big if you just put there. Big if. Because in the meantime, it's just a circus. It's just a freaking circus. And yeah, you know. Radical Eclectic. Corey is from Canada, now in the US. He works with the EFF. He's brilliant. You'll love him. I appreciate that. I don't know if this is a serious chat or not, but someone just said, Ron, do you have a Patreon? I don't know if you're being serious or if you're messing with me, but either way, yeah, patreon.com/RobLacone, patreon.com/RobLacone. This is the patron stream. It goes out to everybody. It goes out to everyone, but the replay only available on Patreon. It's only available on Patreon. So, and Rockfin Premium, excuse me, Patreon and Rockfin Premium. So the replay, if you want to hear all the Lucy updates, you know. Let's see. Ron sending our love from Connecticut. Thank you very much. What's up, Connecticut? I appreciate it. And yeah, I think we covered everything. And yeah, it looks like we did. So thank you guys so much. Here, let me go back here. And geez, I lost my place. I hate it when this happens. But it does. It does on a Sunday morning, no less. I wish I had tour dates to announce, but I still don't. It's we're still not out of the woods yet, folks. Still not out of the woods yet. But thank you, Zivko, for your story. Thank you very much. Thank you, Paziamores. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Zubas. Thank you, Paziamores again. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you guys so much for your patronage and for your story suggestions. You keep this show on the air. And thank you very much to Radical Eclectic. And yeah, I'll have to look into that. Here, let me take a screenshot of that. Oh, that didn't work. That was not what I wanted. Okay, that's annoying. That's really frustrating. Okay. No, just stop. Why? Just go away. Okay. I'll do it later. But here, did it screw up on me? There we go. Oh no, that totally okay. All right. Yeah, I'll do it later. I will do it later. Yeah. Okay. Well, we kind of got lost there a little bit, didn't we? I tried to take a screenshot and something goofy happened. And now my confidence is shaken. My confidence is totally shaken in that screenshot. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Radical Eclectic, for the Super Chat contributions. Thank you very much again to Zivko and to Paziamores and Nina and Zubas and Joseph. You help keep this show on the air. This has been the patron stream where the stream goes out to everybody initially, but the replay is only available on Patreon or on Rockfin Premium. You cannot get the replay of this stream anywhere else. And I talk about my cat. I talk about buildings. I talk about, what else do we talk about? Feel-good stories that are really stories about how fucked our system is. And stories about Edward Snowden dunking at a tech conference about real estate. So, man, I actually told this. I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. So, yours truly just finished a screenplay, and then some other pilots as well. But this particular screenplay, the reason I bring it up is because I was doing research. The screenplay deals with Wall Street. And so to research some of the characters, I wanted to get more experience with those types of personalities. So what I did was I would go into different clubhouse rooms. I would go into clubhouse rooms for real estate investors, probably similar to that thing Edward Snowden was just part of. I would go into clubhouse rooms about just about all kinds of goofy shit, like stocks and bonds and all kinds of all kinds of those things. And I did that to learn to just learn about it. Or not to learn about it necessarily, but to learn about the personalities. Like I was like listening to people talk and try to like just understand, how they tick. Like understand like how they do what they do and how they tick. And yeah. So that's kind of funny. And it helped. It really helped me write this screenplay. But it was sort of like if anyone was like following me on Clubhouse and they saw my activity, they'd be like, "Wow, Ron's going into some weird rooms." But Clubhouse is really useful for that. It really is. If you're on Clubhouse, I'm on Clubhouse. I like it. I know some they don't like it. I like it. But it can be really useful, especially for that kind of thing. If you're like, man, I just want to learn about weird, I just want to see how people in this world tick. You can learn that on, and if you're trying to write a character, who's like a Wall Street guy, and you're not a Wall Street guy, that can really help. That can really, really help. Yeah. So anyway, I've been doing that. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you again to all the patrons for this week's topics, and thank you to Radical Eclectic for your super chat, and thank you all for hanging out with me on this lovely Sunday. This has been the Patron Stream. I'll be back with the Get Your News On with Ron regular stream tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and in the meantime, you know the drill. Lucy, she says meow, and I say peace. Peace.